One of the problems with recruiting for investment banking is not the knowledge or skills you acquire, but the access to talk with real investment bankers to put your best foot forward. Our sponsor, WSO Academy, can provide those connections with 60 head mentors who are finance professionals at top firms like Goldman, Centerview, and JP Morgan. Imagine being able to get on the phone within 24 hours with one of the Academy's 1,300 mentors right before a critical interview. Get on the waitlist for WSO Academy today by clicking the link in the show notes or by visiting wallstreetoasis.com/academy. How do you prepare the night before your super day? Today, we'll talk about this on Investment Banking Insights. All right. Welcome to Investment Banking Insights. This is the only show dedicated to helping you learn both the technical and non-technical aspects of the investment banking process. Hello, my name is Alex Mason and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, we've been going through this series about preparing for super days. What are the steps to take and what order do you take them? These are some things that I've been thinking about recently, and I just want to share my thoughts with you, especially as we are knee deep in Super Day season right now. Some people are even wrapping up their season of recruiting. Congratulations to you all. But for the rest of you who are approaching Super Days, I just wanted to share some thoughts that I think are helpful. Last time we talked about researching the bank, very important step. And now I want to talk to some more tactical topics, specifically, what do you do the night before your Super Day? How do you prepare? Well, the first thing that I would do, and that I did, is I was trying to relax. Try to relax. Because at this point, you've already done the preparation. You've already done the work. Everything that you have worked for, it's basically been done. You're now at that moment where it's time to just present yourself in the absolute best way possible and get that offer, right? So try to relax. You've already done most of the work. Now, in terms of review of any sort of concepts or technicals or behaviorals, review a few concepts if you must, but in my opinion, keep it light. Trying to do some heavy studying right before a test or an interview, in my personal experience, it just doesn't help that much. But hey, you know yourself, do whatever works for you. But that's what I would do for me. And the day before my super day where I ultimately got an offer, I didn't really do any studying. I casually looked over a couple of concepts. I maybe spent about 10 minutes and that was about it. The next thing I would do is very important, plan out your logistics. Ideally, you are already at this point in the city where the interview is taking place. And so you might be staying in a hotel room somewhere or with a family member or a friend. So just make sure that you are physically there and map out the transportation route that you plan on taking to the office. You may be traveling a lot. The following morning, you may be traveling a little bit. If possible, try to get as close to the office as you can reasonably, because it's just going to make things easier for you on the back end when you actually go there, especially if you've never been to the office before. Sometimes it's hard to locate things, especially in busy cities like New York City or Chicago, where there's just a lot going on in the downtown areas. So make sure you map out your transportation and also add in time-wise in your preparation, whatever feels like a comfortable buffer of time. So I tend to add a larger buffer of time the more complex the route is that I'm planning to take and the more dense or packed the city is. So think about how you're going to get there. Are you going to take a bus? Are you going to take an Uber? Will you even be able to walk or take a train? I remember for my super day, I actually was staying in a hotel that was a 30-minute walking distance from where the super day was located. And I remember I wanted that the weather was good enough. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to walk to my super day. And walking has been shown to be just great for your creativity, great for your mind. And of course it's great for your health, right? And I knew I would be sitting in a chair for at least 3 hours. So I took that opportunity to walk, and I am so glad that I did. So it like made me feel ready. I felt a good sense of momentum. My mood was lifted. Just a nice brisk walk in the morning in the city before my super day really helped me out. That's just my personal experience. But of course, you're not going to be able to do that in every situation. So figure out what is likely to work best for you and just plan that out. You'll also want to pay close attention to the instructions that the bank gives you in terms of logistics. So make sure, first and foremost, you get the address right and double check it of the office that you're going to be in. And once you get there, especially if it's one of these larger banks like a bulge bracket bank, I remember during my travels, I went to some, headquarters of these like amazing banks, and there's usually a security downstairs. Just tell them you're there for an interview. You'll get the specific instructions about what to do. You may have to have get a name badge, scan in or something like that with a QR code on your phone. Just those kinds of situations. Just make sure you budget a little bit of extra time to do those kinds of things, because it physically does take time to get from the outside of a big skyscraper in New York City all the way up to the 43rd floor or something like that. So just kind of budget that time and know where you're going to go. Another thing that I would do the night before the super day is plan your clothes in advance. You do not want to be scrambling the morning of the super day because you're not sure what you should wear. And remember, this is a super day, so dress professionally and double check for specifics based on your interactions with bankers already in prior interviews and conversations that you've had. Just make sure that you know exactly what the plan is in terms of how you should be dressed. And thankfully, if you made it this far, you probably already know exactly how you plan to dress, but actually having the clothes laid out or hung up in the closet, wherever you are, can really be a helpful thing. So do that in advance, and that's what I would do. In terms of other details, I can only speak to my experience as a guy. Make sure you have your suit dry cleaned, make sure it's looking nice, and make sure you have a nice tie. Now, personally, I err on the side of conservatism here. I wouldn't wear any sort of flashy designs, but I chose to go with standard, solid colors. I have a really nice red tie that I have, a really nice blue tie, and I think a couple of other colors as well. But those are usually my go-to defaults, because I think they just look nice, they look classic, and yeah, it's just make sure that your dress code is appropriate. And then finally, last little bit of advice here, make sure that you go to bed at a decent time. This, I think, can be one of the hardest things to do. And for many of us out there, is actually going to bed at a reasonable time. This is not the time where you want to stay up past midnight doing whatever. No, you want to go to bed at a reasonable time, wake up early so that you are refreshed, you're ready, you're energized, and you're just going to go out there and crush it. But yeah, this is not the time to stay up at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. Watching Netflix or something like that. So make sure you go to bed, and you will be well served by that. Your body will thank you. Your mind will thank you. So those are the tips that I have in terms of prepping for Super Day the night before. Just some tactical things for you. I hope that you're doing amazing out there. I would love to hear from you if you are getting offers, if you are getting Super Days. I want to know about it. Send me a message, either on Spotify. If you're listening there, you can use the Q&A feature, or the best way to reach me is just to email me directly, investmentbankinginsights@gmail.com. The link is in the show notes to the episode, investmentbankinginsights@gmail.com. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your success stories. And also, if you're struggling, you need any help, just reach out to me. I'd be happy to help. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful, beautiful week, and take care.